let us begin. Design for me is something that gives me joy because I think design comes from within. As I said earlier, it shows what you feel and how you think about some certain things.
Design to me is like, I would say, explore without limits.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear the word design is how to execute, how to like transfer this design to site, how to bring this particular design to life.
Hi, my name is Kelvin. Man, lead design at DHK Designs.
Hi, my name is Olamide. I'm the creative director at DHK Designs.
My name is Daniel, construction manager at DHK.
I was born and brought up in Agege, Lagos. Schooled, studied architecture in the University of Lagos. Growing up, I did not intend on being an architect, just like everyone, or well, not everyone, almost everyone wanted to be medical doctors and lawyers. But as life had it, I drifted towards the design path and hence architecture happened.
I grew up in a family of five. It's the last born. Most of my childhood days were spent in Ikorodu, though I was born in Shomolu, Lagos. My flair for design came about when I was younger. Until the time I figured out that I could draw, I could sketch, and I was very good at it. It was a good line for me to build on to become an architect. Becoming an architect wasn't a tough call for me because I had the flair in me already to be creative. Back then in school days, I used to be very good at technical drawing and mathematics, so it was just a straight line for me to further my education in architecture. I studied architecture in the University of Lagos, did my master's there also.
I grew up in Akwa Ibom State. That's where I did my primary and secondary school. Then came to Lagos for my university. That's where I did my BSc and master's degree, master's in environmental science.
My partners and I, Kelvin and Daniel, were all colleagues in architecture school Unilag. That's where we shared most of our experiences. We brainstormed together, designed together. We did a lot of projects, school projects together, and we were able to benefit from one another.
Yes. We started DHK in our room, in our hostel. So we were actually talking about a project, and we were like, okay, why can't we just form a team and start do our own design? Because initially we were already working on the projects together, like design projects. So like, why don't we just make it official and like start company together, do our own design, then one day we'll see what happens.
Basically, I found out later in the secondary school stage that I was much more inclined towards the design, the creative world, and I was also in the science field. So a combination of these factors led me to the choice of architecture.
On the Risevest project, one of the interesting things that we really enjoyed working on was the play with colors and using of materials. The creative process of designing the Risevest office was to create an hybrid workspace where people can collaborate and can foster a very good community.
When Risevest reached out to us, they wanted a design that communicated their brand identity and work culture very well. So we had to carry out detailed research on their existing working environment. We spoke to a couple of their staffs and their co-founder on how their work style was like and how we could make it better. So we pretty much needed to find out what they wanted and how we're going to be able to achieve these things.
In doing this, we decided to bring in a lot of ideas that can foster these collaborative workspaces, such as open office arrangements, such as work pods, such as meeting rooms, and etc.
As the construction manager at DHK, I'm mostly in charge of execution. So when the design team presents the design to me, so my job is to make sure that whatever they design comes out exactly like that. For the Rise project, I think the high point was the fact that the project actually moved faster than we thought, because we were able to complete within 3 months. The initial plan was more than that, but we were able to finish before time, and the output was very nice, and we really liked it. So I think that's what we are really happy about. Then for the low point, I think that's pretty much Lagos State and its problem. Regulatory bodies, as far as we had to go through a lot of issues from them, back and forth.
On research that goes on during a project, we, after the client's brief, we carry out the research on the client and or brand. If we're designing for a brand, we carry out a research on what it is we're designing. That's where, in these cases, case studies come into play, where we study different existing cases of similar projects before we come up with our own design solutions.
One of the spaces we enjoyed the most is the reception, which is a very good welcoming area. Once you come in, the first thing you see is a visual interplay of vertical lines, which also has a moss wall on it. The moss wall absorbs the carbon dioxide and keeps it at room temperature.
So my favorite part of designing the Risevest building has to be the exterior, the facade, the way the light comes out. I think we really love the way the lighting at night is. So the favorite part has to be the facade.
Okay, I would say my favorite part of the Risevest project has to be the private work pods, because I, for one, am a really private person. I like my space, and the pods we created or we developed create this sense of privacy, and I barely testing it, I felt like, okay, this is what I want. This is how I would want to work if I worked here.
My greatest motivation when it comes to work design is I love luxury lifestyle, and futuristic design. So anytime I'm doing a design, I always try to make it look futuristic, and I love the luxury lifestyle, like in terms of buildings, like luxury homes, all those kind of things. So I always try to this is where I'm heading towards. I want to be working on projects like this, massive buildings. I mean, one of the most sophisticated homes in Africa, stuff like that. I love the luxury part of buildings. Yeah.
I get inspired by tradition, culture, ways of life, and there's just always something interesting about different backgrounds and different homes and different cultures, traditional cultures. And I get inspired by a lot of things from this, and this also inspires the way I design.
I would say my greatest motivation to keep going is the fear of failure. I do not like failing. To me, the only option is succeed. I do not like hearing we can't do this. We just have to keep trying until we find the way out, because I don't believe there is no way out to any problem.
If I'm to compete in the Olympics, I will pick football.
I'm not a big fan of track and field sports. I do more of board. So I play a lot of board games like chess, Scrabble, Monopoly, as many as you can name it.
I would say I'm more like not really a sportsy person, but most times I take on managerial roles like coach and all that. Okay, let's say I was pretty decent at long jump, so I would say long jump was my forte.
I support Chelsea.
My preferred style of design, personally, I do not like to be rigid. I try to be as flexible as possible because various clients comes with various preference, so you can't just say because I prefer this is what I would design for every client because this is what I like. But for preference, I would say I'm more of a minimalist. For completed projects, the 19 store, we have the 19 store, which is a luxury store for a subsidiary of Patricia. So it's a luxury store where they sell what's it called fashion wear and pretty much luxury wears. So in this particular design, we had to communicate. We had a serious mandate to really communicate as best as possible the brand. So we had a section where we packed the gold area. If you enter that space, it's pretty much luxury, luxury, luxury. The environment speaks luxury. The items there speaks luxury. The experience speaks luxury. Okay, another common theme in both projects, I would say we tried as much as possible to create a contemporary theme. Nothing overly busy, as simple as possible, yet very, very effective and functional.
If I could pick a superpower, it would be to read minds. And why? Just because I know what everyone is up to, thinking about.
If I were to pick a superpower, I would like to fly because of traffic. You know Lagos now.
If I could pick a superpower, it would be time travel. I want to go back in time and buy Bitcoin when it was less than $1.
I think the most interesting thing about my company DHK is the fact that I'm working with my colleagues, my friends. We have been friends for quite a long time, so it's actually very easy for us to get things done because we have friends from a long time. So even when things are difficult, we are still able to scale through because we have been friends for a long time. So that really helps.